Welcome to another call. So today I have a very special one. Let me introduce you our guest first so we can get started. So Leila Rose is an Afro-Latina recognized for her unique blend of spiritual and practical wisdom, known as practical magic in activating love, especially for women of color. With over 20 years of experience in spirituality, she focuses on helping women heal from heartbreak and manifest the love and partnerships they truly desire. That is why I have brought her here with us today so that we can talk all about love and all it actually means. So, Mrs. the Love Activator, as I've called you, welcome to the call, Layla.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, super happy to talk about this because as you know, there's so many different ways, there's so many different things we do about spirituality and everything. And when I met with you and I connected with you, I was like, yes, it is love and in a very different aspect that we can apply all these things. But before we even get started, how did you get started? Why and what was the story behind all of this? If you can share.
Hmm. There's a couple of places in the story. So when I was about 19 years old, 20 years old, I had a really hard breakup that left me really confused because I was like, why am I so heartbroken? Like this feels odd. How upset I was, how depressed I was, all the crying I was doing. And a good friend of mine knew a shaman. So I was like, okay, I'll go check that out. And through that experience, I realized that one heartbreak triggered others inside of me. And I began the healing journey of spiritually and emotionally dealing with the pieces of me that were discarded, abused, didn't feel worthy, didn't love herself. And that same shaman always told me that one day I would do this type of work, spiritual work and helping women. And I was like, no, not me. I'm going to be a big VP at a company and I'm going to have a business, do businessy things. And no. So I denied it for a really long time. The things that I learned with him, the spiritual pieces, then I went into self development, then I went to my own therapy and all the blends of all the things. I created something that I now call soul medicine, where I believe true transformation and changes in our life comes from this trinity of all the three things of your mind, understanding energetics and emotions, and your divinity. You can't leave one out. So you can't just do mindset work because your body won't believe it. You can't just do mindset and your body because your divinity may not be aligned, your spiritual, like who you really are. So it's this trinity, a flow of who you are holistically in a way that creates deep, deep change. Um, so I was doing this for myself, but I didn't know what it was called or how I was doing it. No, not how I was doing it, but I didn't name it anything. It wasn't organized. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like that. And so in 2018, I was at my big corporate job and I realized like this isn't it. Like this is off. And slowly, slowly the universe just guided me back to spirituality. And I was like, okay, let me try this. And I was helping people. I was using my intuition to reflect back what they were feeling, what was happening, what I see for them. And I would give them this medicine of like, here's what I would do. Here's where
Mm-hmm.
I know that this would help you. And it actually worked and people were getting getting results. And I was like, oh man, this sounds like this is the path. this this is the thing I've been denying and not wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I love sharing that because I think we always are looking for purpose and meaning and all the things that we desire, but sometimes they're right in front of you and you're just in denial. Like you don't want to accept that it's easy, or you don't want to accept that it's different, or you don't want to accept that like it's like we're taught it must be hard to be valuable or it must be difficult or but it's so natural to me that I've been doing it all my life. I've had when I was working in the corporate environment, I would just have a conversation with people And next thing I know, they would send me a message about, oh my God, what you said triggered this in me. And I went and applied for a job and now I'm here and here I'm through that. And I'm like, that's when I went to coaching. I was like, let
Hmm.
me get like a certification and, training and actually coaching along with the spiritual part to blend, the practical and the spiritual. And so it's just so naturally a part of who I am, but I didn't want it, right?
Right.
Because I didn't want to be called weird, or I didn't want to say I'm intuitive and people label me something. And I had to get over that. And it is so fulfilling. It is so much joy to teach and show and guide and put that into someone else, and help them navigate to their most aligned life with love, with money, with all the things, and especially that journey within themselves, love for themselves. So,
And I love that. And that's always why I ask for everybody to share their stories because it's not just what do you do and how do you get here? It's when you listen to the little details of everything that you go through. And I love, it's funny, your episode 2 on our season 9, the last episode was precisely about finding your purpose and your happiness. And it's that recurring theme of we
mhm.
have to find what's happiness for us. And let's talk about the fact that you're helping them, you're helping women in many different areas, but mostly in the love relationship. When a lot of people come to, I want love and I want a partners and what's wrong with me and why can't I do this? I do find it so important that, and I love the fact that you bring them inside. It's like, let's love yourself first. Let's give yourself value. Let's look at it holistically. It's not just the what can I do? It's who are you spiritually? Where are your emotions? What is your mindset? What is your past trauma? Is that kind of more or less the same thing you find with people over and over, or what do you find? Or
I find that many people are outside themselves.
Mhm.
It's like, why is this happening to me? Why, or I'm not meant to have love, or it's so hard for me. And it's always like this outside of us experience that we have no control over. There's this passive energy, even when you think about love, like it's like this serendipitous thing that hopefully will happen for you. And it's not like when you want a career, right? You go and do the things you need to do to have that career. And with love, it's very passive. We just hope one day we're on a plane and the handsomest guy that is our soulmate will be next to us.
Mhm.
There's no active participation. I think, in the manifesting world is like, this is how you manifest love. And I get that. But like in the societal ways, we're not taught to actively do things to have love,
Mhm.
right? Or how to become a good partner, or how to become like what does a good partnership looks like. And so many
Yes.
people don't even have an example of that. I know I didn't. There was definitely love in my house, but it was unbalanced. So what I find often is that a lot of the women that I speak to are just so tired that they're very outside of themselves.
Mhm.
And it's just easier to say, oh, there's no good men. Oh, there's no good.
Uh-huh.
And this isn't like a blame game. And I actually also don't really like the term love yourself, because I remember one of the beginnings, um, the shaman said to me, you need to love yourself. And I was like, what? I love myself. Here I'm young and a little borderline arrogant and
Mhm.
confident, da da da. But like looking as I look back when I got older and knew more, I was like, wow, I didn't
Mhm.
understand what that really means. And I think that's the problem.
Mhm.
No one teaches us what loving yourself is, and how to embody it. What does it look like? What is it like really truly like? Because it's not about your looks. It's not about self-care.
Mhm.
And if you want me to define it,
Yeah, I
self,
was gonna ask you, like literally say it. No, and I hate to interrupt you because you're gonna go ahead and do it anyways.
yeah.
Like you're gonna go into it. But it is important for people to say that and to people to know that because to a certain degree, yeah, we're all arrogant. And to a certain degree, we all say, oh, but I do love myself. But do you really? Like, is the definition of what you're perceiving actually it? So tell us exactly what that is.
And and I think love is the one place where the lack of love for ourselves shows up. All your insecurities show
Okay.
up in love. All your ah, your vulnerabilities, all the things you think are wrong with you show up in love relationships mostly because it's so intimate and vulnerable. So it really flares up all the things that we believe about ourselves. So true self love to me is, I use words like self honoring, self respect, really understanding your worthiness and your value. And where you find all these things are in accepting every single bit and piece of you, like truly self accepting, accepting your shadows, your weaknesses, your goods, your bads, your ugly, and really embracing the darkest pieces of you. Like, I think this, that is so dark. Why do I think that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Coming at
Mm-hmm.
yourself in a way of curiosity and learning and understanding instead of judgment. The whole world, all they want to do is judge you.
Yeah.
So, why do you think that? Oh, you're a terrible mother. Why do you think that? Oh, you're a terrible friend. And understanding and accepting yourself from that level will make you invisible in this world.
Yeah.
When you do that work, like the things people say don't bother you, right? Because you know who you are. You know what you are and what you're not.
Yep.
And even if somebody's like, you're a liar, okay, that's your opinion. That's what you think. Like it just, you own every piece of you at such a deep level that people can't really phase you. And that comes in so handy in relationships because you get really clear, not only of who you are, but what you want, what you need, and you live in this unapologetic, powerful place. Now, I don't see, like, sometimes I think people think or feel that power and apologetic is like this bitchy, I'm not gonna put up with this and I'm not gonna put up with that. And I'm not, like it's this very bit of arrogance, or like, you're not gonna put up with a man that's broke, or you're not gonna put up with the man that's this, or he does one thing and you're, no, it is this beautiful way of, I know what I want, I know who I am, and I'm inviting you into my beautiful life and see if we can partner together to have a beautiful life together. Right?
I
That's
think
how I
that's
teach my clients about how we manifest love. Partnership.
right. And I think that's super important because society, culture, generations, etc., what have they taught us? To love somebody that's your better half, meaning you're not whole. And
Right?
just to begin with that, we are all whole. We may be a little broken. We may need a little healing. We may need all of this until, and that to me is the part of self-love. It's the part of, okay, I accept my hurt, my pain, my rights, my wrongs. I accept all of the things that I do need to accept, the all of the sense, but I'm still whole. I'm not out there searching because I feel incomplete. And I think that's much of what happens in, I don't want to say 100%. Obviously, you would know more this than I do, but I would say that's what happens in a lot of the people who get heartbroken when they shouldn't even be heartbroken. Why? They're putting all their hopes and dreams into, I found the person and it's the fairy tale life. And we're just coming at each other with all of our traumas and sores and all of those things. So I completely see that in the sense of, yes, we can't judge ourselves, but not judge another either,
Yeah.
right?
You don't want to. You won't bother to. You
Mm-hmm.
just you, and also, part of the process that I take women on is understanding energetics. Understand that when you are cyber stalking the
Mm-hmm.
ex of the guy that you're dating, you're just adding energy to that. Like,
Yep.
everything you do matters. And the energy you do it from matters. And so when I think about women who do that or have done that, and I've done it, and I would tell myself, like, I recognize this is a toxic thing, and nothing in my life is about her, right? It's about my relationship with this man and this thing and this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Honoring myself and loving myself and respecting myself is picking up all the pieces that I dropped and moving on with my life, right? Because where you focus your energy is what you'll get back. So if I'm focusing on this person, I will see more of her. I will like encounter more irritation about their existence. It's just you feed the fuel. The universe does not care if it's negative or positive. You are so powerful that where you focus is what you are going to receive.
Mm-hmm.
When you're focusing on your insecurities and you're on another person, that's what you're going to see back is more insecurity.
Right.
So it's like, you know what? It's it's human of me to be curious. It's human of me to be sad and angry and whatever all the things are. But it's goddess of me to not continue to do that and really focus on my heart, my life, and that there's someone perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
God did not forget me. The universe
Mm-hmm.
did not forget me in the ultimate love that I
Mm-hmm.
know I deserve.
Right. And I think that's a lot of it. It's what do we think we do deserve? Because again,
Hmm?
a lot of people are like, this is what I got. At least I got something. And I'm not happy, but I'm not alone.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
a lot.
also comes to a lot of, right, that also comes to a lot of heartbreak and problems and even trauma for everybody. Because if it's not meant to be with that person,
Yeah,
there's going to be more shattering now on two different people. And let's be real, we don't live isolated. That could include our kids if we have kids. That could include our families. That could include many people just outside of the relationship. But there's so much desperation. And let's put it this way, there's so much selling in being in a relationship. When people even decide that they're okay not being in a relationship,
right.
people look at them like, why? And that's also part of loving yourself. It's, I'm whole. I don't need anybody right now. I'm good. And people look at you like, are you still heartbroken? Really?
Yeah, I just need a break. I just want to be by myself. Because relationships, no matter what, are an energy exchange. You are giving and taking, giving and taking. Um,
Hmm.
and that's with any human being. Any human being that you're going to interact with, it's give and take. Um, and when it comes to love, it is so important that I always tell people to manifest, to create, to align yourself with someone that will grow with you, that will give and take like you, and grow with that change of give and take. And I don't believe that we have one soulmate either. I believe we are soul contracted with many of them.
Hmm.
Depending on the choices we make in our life, depends on the one that we bring in. And so that's another thing that hurts people is they're like waiting for the one. There is
Right.
just one out there. There are
Right.
9 billion people and there's one.
Or I lost the one.
Yeah.
Either. Uh-huh.
One that got away. Like we always think
Uh-huh.
like, oh, da, 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 da. This is why it's so important. Part of the work that I do with women is reconnecting them with their intuition so that they can navigate these moments, these experiences to really understand like, was he really the one?
Hmm.
Right? Or was he one of the ones? And
Word.
really, right?
I love that.
One of the ones or the one. And so I think it's just so powerful to navigate love with yourself in a way where you understand that there's an abundance. Like when people come to me and they're dating a lot or doing certain things, there's always this lack in the dating world. Like, and there's more negativity than positivity.
Hmm.
So I really work with people on none of that is your business.
Hmm.
Like the dating world is not your business. What people experience is not your business. You have a unique way and a unique love story that you are going to create. And so if you put all that to the side, what if your problems were, I have too many great men to choose from? What if there just was too many, right? But we are taught in lack. We're taught in, even in my kids, like fourth grade book, it was about scarcity and limiting resources. And I get the humanity of that, but we have to move beyond that. We can
Right.
acknowledge, yeah, there's a limited amount of oil. There's limited amount. Sure, okay, but there's never a limited amount of love in this world.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many opportunities, right? And so just even that little mind shift of like, oh, what if I started thinking of dating as, oh, I'm going to have too many choices. It's going to be hard to pick between these amazing men. I'm going to really have to tap into my intuition and know which one's best for me. Right? Why does it have to be like, oh, I hope I find someone. Oh, they all suck. Oh my God, there's so much of this or that or this or that. And then the universe brings you more evidence of that experience.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
problem too, is that you are a powerful, powerful magnet. And we're not taught that. We're taught that we're just little nothings. Oh, life is passive. Like, good luck. Hopefully, good things come to you. Pray to
Mm-hmm.
God and hope that
And
God,
be
you just,
good. Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And be good.
One of my favorite clients, she's Catholic, and she said to me, she's like, my prayers didn't truly start coming true until you taught me how to pray. Because we are culturally taught
To
to
beg.
pray in a place of lack.
Yep.
Am I good enough? Am I good enough? Please, God, let me have it. That is the
Mhm.
total place of lack. What
Yeah.
if you go to God in the way that He sees you, God, universe, source? I don't care what you believe in. Like, it doesn't matter if you believe in some higher power. Can you get behind the thought that that higher power thinks you are perfect, worthy, and divine?
Mm-hmm.
And now when you ask for something, you come in that energy of, let this be so in my highest good. Bring me this or something better, right? And that you already claim that it's yours and you want something of it, like it, right? Um, and so even those little nuances of the way that we show up in that energy is powerful. It
Yeah.
changes the life.
And I love the way you said that a little while ago because I completely agree. We're taught to come from a place of scarcity, of begging, of
Mm-hmm,
I promise that if you do this for me, then I'll do this. Like, let me
mm-hmm,
trade because I know I'm not worthy. And yeah, that's not what God wants to begin with. And again, I'm also the same way. Call it whatever you want to call it. But I want to go back to I loved it when you said, what if I have too many great men to choose from?
mm-hmm,
Let's take a spin here. Because the other part of it is, in my mind, how does somebody break it down? What is a great man?
mm-hmm.
Because there's one thing to say, this is what I consider a great man, and then there's one thing that's a checklist. He has to
Yes,
qualify all this check. Again, those are coming from two different energies. So can you
right,
talk about that? Because I want people to understand that it's not, this man has to be the rich, the famous, it has to have 1.5 billion in his account. If not, I'm not dating him,
right,
versus what is a great man.
right. There's this term out there that I do not like. It's like a quality woman, a quality man. I'm like, what even is that? A quality woman, a quality man. So this is where we really have to balance humanity with spirituality and understand where your desires are coming from. I will say, let's say I was single today. I would say I need a man with a certain level of income. Why? Because I'm used to a certain lifestyle, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to a certain thing. And that is a desire in my heart, right? It's not the human part about, oh, he must have money or he's not good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. It's that I know I'm worthy of a certain lifestyle. And is he going to blend with that? So this is where we have to get like real with yourself about, like, people will say, money is not important. I don't care. What? Money is love.
Mm-hmm.
Money is life. Money is like, money literally decides what kind of mate you're going to have because of the type of school and the neighborhood that you live in. And there's so many pieces. Now, yes, we're not willing to sacrifice our souls for money. I get that too. But this is where it's really important to understand your desires. And I believe our desires come from the universe, from God. God help us
Sorry.
there. No worries. And so what I want is what God wants for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want a person who likes to do these types of things, likes to travel, right? Or likes to go to Hawaii or likes Disneyland. I love Disneyland, right? So there's certain things. And so it's not about if a guy doesn't like Disneyland, then he doesn't check that box,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about me even knowing
Mm-hmm.
from my desires and my heart, not from what I think the world wants me to want. So this is why having a relationship with yourself is really clear, because like on the other side of this, or to share about me, is like I don't care about presents. I don't want, that's like not important to me. But am I really gonna tell a guy who gives me a bunch of presents to stop giving me presents? Right? Like,
Yeah.
right? So there's this balance. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not gonna stop dating a guy because he keeps giving me presents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so there is this just, and I don't know how it all works, truly, but I feel like the universe molded my husband exactly for what I would need and beyond my human comprehension. So there is a piece of this where, yeah, your human brain wants certain things,
Mm-hmm.
but then your heart wants certain things, and then the universe knows beyond that what you're really going to need for the next
Mm-hmm.
20 years you're with this
Right.
person. So there is a certain part of surrender, of releasing that. So if I was single today, I would do the inner journey of connecting with my intuition. I would look at all the mindset things that are negative and positive. What do I really think about partnership and love? How am I really looking at these things? And then my divinity. Those are the three pieces that I mentioned earlier. Like, what do I believe about how this whole soulmate thing works? How does like this work? And am I worthy of even having a person to share my life with forever and it being amazing?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was heartbroken, I I didn't I was like I didn't carry it with me in a way of like, oh, because this happened, I'm not going to have what I want. I
Mm-hmm.
carried it as, oh, that must not be it for me. Okay, universe, bring it on. What's
Mm-hmm.
next? What was the lessons there? I don't let bad experiences like taint like what I really know I'm worthy of. Now it took time for me, even after 10 years of working with the shaman, even after understanding energetics, even after understanding my spirituality, to truly feel worthy and be willing to walk away from all these guys that I was so in love with or whatever and so obsessed with and walking away and seeing that they're not right. That takes a lot of strength.
It
And
does.
having the courage, the like, no way, I know there's the perfect one for me. Not the
Mm-hmm.
perfect one, the perfect one
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
through my own desires and brain understanding and through like the universe's
Right.
cosmic. When
Right.
I look at some, I'm getting a little into astrology. And when I look at my husband's astrology, like it just doesn't make sense of why we work together. Astrologers understand it, but I feel like we're so different, like night and day. It's just, I don't even know. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but I trust it all the time that he is always a perfect match for what I need, and I'm a perfect match for what he needs.
And the good thing is that you don't have to really know the astrology part to it. The thing
Yeah,
is, you're connected to your intuition
yeah,
and you're
and my
connected to
desires.
your desire and you're connected to yourself and you just feel
Yeah,
that whatever he is or he's supporting or this or the, it just feels right. And I think that's one of the things that is very, um, it sticks out for me is are you really feeling from your heart and your knowing about somebody or something? Or are you thinking about it? Are you trying to hijack what you're actually feeling by what you think you should be better? But then I want to go back into something because I love that you said, is that person going to blend with my lifestyle? And what
Mm-hmm.
comes to me, I love, love, love how you said that because the majority of the people, when they're not consciously thinking of this, what they're doing is instead of, is that person going to blend into my lifestyle? Is can that person pay and afford to keep me at that lifestyle? So it's like that other person's responsibility.
Yeah.
And nobody's at that but you. And I've been there, sadly, not in the I'm looking for a man to pay for my life, but it's happened that the men have, some of them have been in there because I was struggling through something. But at the same time, it's what you're saying. That's why I wanted to share it. It's the
Yeah.
divinity that knew better that said, this is the kind of support system you need right now. And like you said, there's many of many's. So they have been many of many's. I'm not going to say how many. Not yet. I haven't counted them. But in my lifestyle, there's been many of many's, but it's true. What were they there for? What were you there for them in that person, in their life? Because we, as women, it's like, yes, the men, we have this fairy tale belief of the man supports and the woman is like this delicate thing that he takes care of. Yeah, hell no. We can all take care of ourselves. But we forget when we become weak, when we forget who we are. And that's why I love what you do, because it's that fire that light underneath every woman and say, first of all, let's get this shit straight. Right?
Yeah. And keep it real. You are
Mm-hmm.
human and you are a spiritual being. And
Mm-hmm.
you can have both experiences. You can have like you can have that human desires of he has to be handsome in a certain way or he has to have this amount of money in a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that. When it becomes an issue is when that overpowers what's really important, right? And what's really important is true partnership with another human. I
Yeah.
think, and I don't know how I became this way. I don't know why I thought this way. I was never the type of person that dreamt about her wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't my thing. Um, and what I, as I, and obviously, I started my journey very young, right? I was 19. Most people don't start their spiritual, like, who am I, all that young. So by the time I got to an age where I was considering even true deep relationships, I already had such a deep sense of who I was and so much healing under my belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had worked out that, oh, what I want is like a friend. Because what I tell women too, don't think about your wedding day as like, oh, such a great day. Because that's one day out of 20.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, what are you going to be doing on Wednesday at 7 o'clock with this person?
Mm-hmm.
When life gets mundane,
Mm-hmm.
when
And it
he
does.
maybe needs a little weight,
Mm-hmm.
when like how is that life going to be and feel?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you talked about like thinking and emotions because so many of the brilliant, successful women that I work with think their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I literally have spent like 6 months retraining. Like, wait, because they use the words.
Right.
Well, I think I feel, I
Mm-hmm.
think I feel. And there's only so many feelings, right? It's very limited. Wait, is this joy? Is this anger? Is this right? And even energetically. So if we talk about energy and emotions and thinking and all that, it all goes together. But I believe there's only two energies in the world. There is fear and love.
Mm-hmm.
Everything comes from
Guidance.
aligns with one of those pillars, right? So, everything that doesn't feel good is fear. Everything that feels great is love, to keep it simple. But and what happens is a lot of people are dating in scarcity. in fear, in lack, in like, this is so hard, in will I find someone? Oh my God, someone got my attention. And the minute that you get their attention, you're like all over it. Instead of the space of abundance and love, we're like, I am shopping for a partner. Where's the catalog? Please, universe, bring it to me. And when I say picking, it truly means like that you want to see what you're aligned to in that moment. I get women aligned, and it takes a couple of relationships before they actually find the one that they marry or be with. Because even like me, it took me time to truly understand like deeply what I needed and how to receive that, feeling worthy of that experience. Because I think that's the biggest issue is we don't feel worthy. When a woman comes to me and she says, I don't know what I want. Yes, you do. You just don't think that you're worthy of it.
Right.
If I asked you really, really, really what you want, you're like, I want this. But
Right.
somewhere along the line, you gave up on it. You thought it wasn't for you. It wasn't happening. Some piece of you decided that you were tired of the disappointment and it wasn't going to be. So you're like, what? You settle without knowing you were settling.
Right.
And it's so powerful to have people step into their desires in such a deep way and claim them and be honest with themselves, which is really scary because once you do that, you can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to do something about it in some way.
It's true.
Yeah. So,
Or
but it is the best work. It is the most joyous, fulfilling, beautiful thing you'll ever do.
yeah, and I completely agree, and I know we're kind of running out of time, but I wanted to say something about the receiving also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had somebody once that in my own practice, I had somebody once that she went through years and years and years of a marriage, divorced, found somebody, met somebody that is the total opposite. She could not receive because she felt uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also something that people need to work with because she was not used to being treated well and being given gifts or being somebody that's with somebody that's romantic and she was like, no, she was finding all the problems with him. And I was looking at her and I was like, I don't think those are problems. If he's needy and clingy, that's a different thing. But that's not being needy. That's being romantic. You're just not used to it. And you should have seen her eyes. Her eyes just opened like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Like it would not compute. And we're going to have to leave it at that. But that is something I want people to come into attention with, and people like you can help because all of these little things, we think they're something else when in reality, it's something else that's triggering it or needs the healing or whatever. So, with that said, Leila, where can people reach out to you? I mean, I'll put everything in the comments in the description, but where can people reach out to you and find out more about maybe what is that they do have that they don't know, or what is it that they can work with you that they already know it's like this general area?
Yeah. So everyone can reach me on Instagram at Leila Rose, your coach. Um, and my website is leilarosecoaching.com. And I have an offer where you can try me on, right? We get a call and then you have 2 weeks of back and forth with me to talk about what we discovered in the call. And I love that you closed with that. And there's so many things I can say to that. But we're at time. And I think it's just so powerful to see ourselves in that three-way form to
Mm-hmm.
create what we really, really desire. And because I need people to understand that what is in your heart, not your head, what is in your heart of what your feelings are about what you want is what is for you. It is for you. It's just that the world didn't teach you how to align to having it. It did the complete opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. It is so true. That's why I want people to reach out to you because it's true. We need to reshift. And when you said at the beginning, it's taking you weeks to sometimes months or relationship wise lengths to
Right.
help people shift the mindset. It's because of that. It's we need so much retraining from everything we've learned throughout a lifetime. Plus, when we add in all the relationship add-on
Yeah.
issues or complications or fun, because we even learn through the fun and the lessons and all of those things. So, Leila, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for what you're doing for all the women, because we all deserve happiness. And it's not just the fact that it's in a relationship, it's we deserve happiness to see love everywhere and look at life through love. And that's what you're
Right.
bringing to the world. So, thank you for
Thank
your
you for
time.
having me.
And everybody, talk to her, get in touch with her, and we will talk to you soon. Till next time. Bye.